What up? Let's get weird. It's your boy, Tommy G, here with the Friday Night Roundtable. Normal edition. I guess it's our normal time now, right? Is this it? 7:30? Is what we're doing?
We go to 5 sometimes.
Sometimes. We'll see. But for right now, it's the normal edition. You'll see me looking this way as usual on Fridays and Saturdays when we do the roundtable, as we have a monstrous bet on the Miami Hurricanes, which I'll be staring at the whole entire time we're doing this show. Scarface, what up, buddy?
What's up, Tommy? How you doing?
Doing good, bro. Doing to the Fridays or mayhem. I start
Back to Fridays. Love Fridays.
The Thunderdome first thing in the morning with high slop in them, and it does not stop. Twitter space, this, and just research all night till 4 in the morning. So my alcohol is on the way, so I may make a drink shortly, but I have a delivery on the way. Zab, what up, brother?
What's going on, Tommy?
Not much, bro. Not much. You've been everywhere now. You're like the fucking rookie of the year.
Yeah, we're going for it. We're going for the award. So
well, look at that. Look at that fucking camera there. Looking nice. Looking nice. No more
high tech, baby. High tech.
There we go. Constantino and Goat. We have them next to each other in the bottom row here for a reason. There's a battle. There's a war going on where both of these men feel they had by far the call of the week for DFS. Both of these men had monstrous calls in DFS last week. If you played both of their calls, you probably won every dollar that was out there. I'm going to start with Constantino, who's trying to stake his claim on the call of the week with Juwan Jennings. Michael, plead your case.
Well, I mean, the case is very simple. It's mathematics. There's numbers that are greater than another set of numbers, and Juwan Jennings,
nice.
Was the highest scorer of the week, and I think, and who's much cheaper than Chase. So I don't even think it's debatable.
Okay, Trevor, plead your case. Who you had Jamar Chase and Amari Cooper. Both predicted them to score 2 touchdowns. We'll be the judge and jury up at the top here. But Trevor, please your face.
Well, right now I'm soaking in greatness. I'm sitting back here taking all the GOAT in. And it's very simple. If you had Juwan Jennings on a team, that's great. You got some good scores. It's great. Great value. It's all great. Great. Yep. But if you also put Jamar Chase in for 102 touchdowns, you got like a plus 1,200 on top of DS. So when I went and put it on the table, I mean, I'm soaking in greatness right now.
I mean, that wasn't really pleading your case. That was more talking about yourself. I'll plead the case for both of you. Mike had by far the best value on the board with the guy who was the cheapest, who did the most on the slate. Fact. Trevor, here's the argument you can make for Trevor because it seems open and shut for Mike. Trevor actually predicted what was going to happen. Said 102, 2 touchdowns for both of them. So, Jerry, Mike had the best outcome, but didn't say Juwan was going to go 175-3 like no one knew. Trevor's saying that he said exactly what was going to happen and happened. Who won?
I don't know, man. One did it sober and one did it not sober.
Drunk.
I don't know. I was slow with my words last week on that video that I put up on my
Mike,
Twitter.
you were drinking last week. Trevor was.
Yeah, but I slurred the fuck out of it. I must have been really – that had to be a later game then.
No, you just mispronounced everyone's name.
Oh, no. You guys heard wrong.
Zab, who had the better call?
I'm going with Goat. He made 2 calls, Cooper and Chase. So it's tight, but I got to go with the guy that put up 2.
Jerry, who was your call? Who's better?
Yeah, I'm going to draw a mustache on Zab on my –
because Juwan Jennings was on the main slate. I'm going to go with Mike on this one.
All right. I'm going to break the tie and obviously go with Trevor because Trevor came in drunk from a party, dropped in, gave 2 plays, both hammered to the nuts, called exactly what was going to happen. Trevor wins. Trevor, play of the week. There we go. Anything I can do to make sure Mike doesn't get the play of the week.
Thank you, guys. My drink of the night is right here on that big dub. I'm going to pour myself a drink.
Nice. There we go. All right. So let's get this started here. Jerry, walk us through what's going on in this slate. Walk us through anything we need to know about last week. And then we're going to have Zab go through all the injuries and everything because it's a fucking bloodbath on those streets right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's too many injuries to start off with anybody right now. We're just going to have to go. Every game's got some kind of injury. So, I mean, there's just way too many to name. We'll just get to them when we get to each game. Last week was awesome for me. I did awesome on DraftKings. My core up at Ship It did awesome. I had Dak. I had Derrick Henry. I had Roma Dunze. I had Juwan Jennings. Came really close in the Mega Milli. Came even closer in their high dollar single entry over there. Had an awesome week over there.
Nice. All right. And Zab, let's walk through this slate from a high level overview. Obviously, we'll go through everything. Do you guys see any weather anywhere? Is there anything we need to be concerned about? I know there's weather affecting baseball.
I mean, there's a hurricane situation, but I don't think it's affecting any games that are on the slate. It doesn't look like that.
I haven't seen anything yet. I'll dive into weather again like Saturday night and Sunday morning. That stuff changes, seems by the hour anymore. So I'll do a late dive in on that for Sunday morning. Injuries, like Scarface said, there's so many that the news just keeps coming out too. I think Olave popped up on the injury report today. He's questionable now. Tank Dell's out. Trey McBride's out. Njoku's out. Devontae Adams is out.
Adams.
So there's going to be a lot of value this week. So we'll be diving into those as we go through the slate. So
yeah, there's a lot. So we're game by game. We need to make sure to talk about the injuries because the injuries in this thing are fucking maniacal right now. So let's get it started. We got a big slate. We got 5 guys. Let's try and keep this tight. Don't go too long on each individual thing. Let's start off with you. Scarface, Rashid Shaheed last week disappeared for everyone. So I know a lot of people had him in DFS. Threw up a fucking goose egg after a 20-16. What do we like in this New Orleans Atlanta game?
Yeah, so Olave popped up with a hamstring injury today in practice. So it looks like, he's going to be out this game. I mean, we're going to see Rashid Shaheed probably come in with some ownership. I don't know how much. But we saw the Saints offense kind of come back to earth last week. Then, how they were playing the first 2 weeks. I mean, they were playing against some bad defenses in Carolina and Dallas. Now, I mean, they're facing it's an underrated Falcons defense. They just lost their Pro Bowl Eric McCoy to an injury. Carr is not a quarterback that performs well when he's pressured. He's kind of going to be feeling that pressure from the Falcons this week. They've done kind of a good job limiting guys like Hurts and Mahomes so far. I think we kind of see the same with Carr. I think they're going to limit him this week. Kamara, he's probably going to he was a little banged up this week too. I think he's going to see an increased workload with Olave out. They're also missing Taysom Hill still. I think he has a pretty good game. He's kind of priced up a little bit, 8,600 on FanDuel. Probably more playable on DraftKings with the full point PPR over there at 7,600. There's a lot of options on the slate for running backs. I'm not sure that I need to go there with Kamara. The Olave injury is definitely going to open up some targets for Shaheed. I think Shaheed's the only one I kind of like on the Carolina side. On Atlanta, Drake London, we're seeing his targets kind of climb a little bit every week. This is a good matchup for him over here. On a slate where we're seeing a lot of receivers priced up, his price is kind of still the same. He's in the low 6Ks on FanDuel and on DraftKings. As far as Bijan goes, I don't know. He was kind of limited all week with a shoulder issue. I don't know what his status is. I'm sure he's going to be playing this game. I don't know if he's going to be 100%. He's also kind of priced in that same range as a bunch of other backs I kind of like more on the slate. I think I'm out on him. Kyle Pitts, we've kind of been waiting for his blow-up game. We've been waiting for it for like 3 years now. I don't know when the fuck we're going to see it. I don't think we're going to see it in this game. The over-under in this game dropped from 45.5 to 42. There's something going on in this game. I don't see a lot of offense going on.
All right, Jeff?
I agree. Saints are probably also going to be out with Cesar Ruiz, which is one of their guards. He's one of their better offensive linemen. After he went out last week, the Saints couldn't get any push in the trenches. So Kamara pretty much got shut down after that. They also have missing a linebacker in Demario Davis, who's unlikely to play. They have a tackle that's limited participant all week. So with all that, I'm probably out on Kamara this week with all the injuries. A.T. Perry, the third wide receiver also for the Saints, is out. So if no Olave, no Perry, it's Rashid Shaheed and nothing there.
Yeah.
I'm not touching anything on the Falcons side of the ball until they figure it out. So,
All right, Mikey, what do you like?
They're highly priced, but Kamara and Bijan, but I don't think I want to get there. I think as of right now, the only player I have in my pool is Darnell Mooney at 4,400. Last week he went for 8 and 66 yards. And then the week before I was watching that Eagle game. He had 7 targets and only 3 catches, but he did produce 88 yards and, Cousins was going to him. It's really hard to guess with this team, right? Is it going to be Pitts or London or this one or that one? So at 4,400 for the volume he's taken, I'll work Mooney into my wide receiver 3 on some of my builds.
Trevor?
Yeah, look, I'm right with Mike. I don't like this game. I don't like New Orleans on the road, even though it is in a dome. But Mooney's price has really gone nowhere. 17.8, 14.6 last 2 weeks DFS. Gotta like Mooney. And as far as prop bets, Mooney over yards, I'm all in right there. He's being targeted. It's that simple.
Yeah, I'm off this game altogether until I get more injury news here. We got a bunch of stuff floating around, but really Kamara. Do we think Kamara plays?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's playing.
Yeah. All right. He's still listed as questionable. All right.
They took a practice day on Wednesday and, like a veteran's day off.
Okay. I mean, listen, this game's fine. I just don't really think you need to force it. I don't see too much here that I like at all. So I'll probably be not playing many props or betting it or any side. Let's move over to a game I do like, Cincinnati, Carolina. Last week, Adam Thielen started off balling out for us. Said he was the great punt play on there, 4 for 40. Hit his prop on that touchdown catch, but then fucking fucked his leg up, so he's done. So we missed a big game in a ladder out of Thielen. And Deontay Johnson went absolutely batshit. I told you guys last week I like Dalton in this offense. I think it was Bryce Young, not the offense. And we saw it right there. Deontay Johnson, we got to go there, right? If he plays, obviously. Jerry?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like Deontay Johnson here. I kind of like Chuba Hubbard also. He's getting like a huge workload. He's still pretty cheap on both sides. I mean, they just kind of might just run this guy into the ground until they get Jonathan Brooks back. Jonathan Brooks should be back. I don't know when, but I mean, they're definitely going to be using Chuba Hubbard till he gets back. Yeah, with Thielen out, Deontay Johnson, definitely somebody you can go back to. I kind of like taking a chance on one of these cheap receivers from Carolina too. I think Mingo is the one I like. He's 3,300 on DraftKings. He saw 5 targets last week. Could see more with Thielen out now. On the Cincy side, I mean, they look like the offense is kind of back on track with T. Higgins back. I mean, they're facing much weaker defenses now that they were the first 2 weeks. And now they got the receivers back healthy. Burrow looks like he's, they're not going to go 0-4. I don't see them losing this game. I mean, this is a must win for them. Burrow with Chase for sure. Higgins is kind of still cheap on both sides. We're seeing Yoshivas still getting a lot of work. Yeah, I definitely like Burrow and Chase here. Those are the 2 plays for me.
Panthers O-line has a massive advantage in the trenches this week versus a weak defensive line. So I expect Dalton to have all day. Touching on Tommy's Deontay Johnson play, I think he has all day to set up and hit Johnson, pending his health. He did pop up with a hamstring injury, but I think he's good to go this weekend. So I do like Deontay Johnson. Chuba Hubbard I also think is very sneaky. That offensive line is going to give him plenty of time to just slam the ball up the middle. Yost I think is still going to get the red zone targets for them. I think he's still sneaky there as someone that's going to come under-owned, especially at 4,100. So, but yeah, I'm in on Chase also. But the cheap play there would be the Yost. So,
I love my boy. Who's up next, Mike?
Yeah. Yeah, the offensive line that, you talked about, I mean, since he's got one of the 5 worst offensive lines right now in the NFL, and I just don't think that Carolina can take advantage of that. Carolina is going to score. Their problem is their defense, and that's like a really good get-right spot for Cincy. Regarding the, the straight-up players, I'm big on Chuba this weekend, Jerry. I'm with you on that. And at the 1v1 with him or Deontay Johnson at that price tag of 5,700 versus 5,600, and we have Hubbard, he's coming off of, 26 touches, last week between the run and the pass game. At the same price, I'm going to favor Hubbard in that spot over Deontay Johnson. And then for some GPP flyers, I also like the call of like a Mingo or even like a Leggett to get some leverage off of Deontay Johnson there. And then on the Bengals side, the running backs, it's tough to, again, pick one. But if there's ever going to be a Zach Moss week, I mean, they should be pounding into that Carolina team this week. I don't think I'm going to get there because I like Hubbard more, who's cheaper. So for me right now, it's Hubbard. And like I said, some of those receivers on just some flyers. Again, wide receiver 3 and some GPP builds.
Trevor?
Burrow's going to throw the ball all over the place this weekend. Chase 100 and a touchdown again, back-to-back this week. Really love him. Mingo. Listen, Deontay's a little beat up. Mingo, the value there, 3,300. If the red-headed lightning tosses the ball all over the place, Mingo is going to destroy that value. So that's it.
I like Burrow. I'm co-signing to Burrow. I think Burrow's going to go nuts this week. This is a must-win game. This is when they start to kick it up. You saw last week 324-3. This is the time to play Burrow. It is a little tougher to pick which receivers you want to pair with him. I actually prefer, as you guys know, Yoshivas over T. Higgins significantly for the discount, for the $1,800 discount. Getting a lot of red zone targets too. He scored in back-to-back games, and he's only 4,100. Eric All is obviously a guy, if you absolutely need a min-price $2,500 tight end, I think he's going to be moving up the depth chart, moving up the target chart, and actually surpass Gesicki at some point this season, probably pretty soon. But I don't know if you need to do it right now. I'd probably rather wait until there's some guys injured to get him in. But Burrow's going to be slinging it all over the place. The thing I'm worried about with anyone outside of Deontay Johnson, this is still Andy Dalton. The reason we like Thielen and Deontay Johnson last week is because they're veterans who live in Andy Dalton's throw range. Mingo, guys like that don't. I don't think he's going to get the ball to those guys. So I think for me, Leggett, Mingo, those are guys that I really don't have any interest in with Dalton, no matter who's on the field. It's Deontay Johnson or bust for me personally. Let's go Rams, Chicago, Mike. Obviously, we got a lot of injuries in this game. We got Kupp out. We got Puka out. We got Keenan Allen. Is Keenan Allen playing this week? I know he was.
He's out.
I think he's out.
Really? Because DraftKings is still saying he's expected to play.
No, he's out.
Okay, he's officially out.
Wait.
Okay.
No, I don't think he's out. You're right.
Am I? Yeah,
No.
I'm just reading DraftKings, so I don't fucking know. Let me see. Do we know? That's going to affect greatly what I do.
Questionable, trending towards playing, but I didn't see the
He did
practice.
practice.
Okay.
He might be playing.
All right. If he does play, this makes Caleb Williams, I think, a nice value play here, Mikey. But what are you looking at in this game?
Well, you took the words out of my mouth. I mean, a lot of people I'm talking to are on Jaden Daniels this week as the quarterback to play, but Caleb Williams coming in cheaper. And whether Allen's in or out, I mean, you're just getting all of the passing yards, with Caleb Williams in that spot of 5,600. I think he's a great play. I mean, the Rams defense is a sieve. Second worst. I mean, they're giving up 177 rushing yards, per game and 250 plus passing yards per game. Rather than overthinking it, I mean, the running back situation's a mess a little bit too, with Swift not playing up to par. I would just grab Caleb Williams, maybe even like naked in that spot, or even pairing him with Cole Kmet, who's like really just outperforming expectations again. 10 catches on 11 targets, 97 yards last week. And if Allen's out, I like it more. Or even if Allen's hobbled, we've seen Allen when he was with the Chargers come on the field hurt and be used as a decoy, a lot. And maybe that's even the case here. So I either like Caleb alone or Caleb with Kmet if I'm looking for a cheap pairing. And then on the Ram side, I mean, I'm big on Kyron Williams. He had his blow-up game last week. I don't see it stopping. You can run on the Bears, but they're tough to pass against. So I like Kyron Williams in that spot.
All right, good news for you, Mikey. I know you put in a same-game parlay with this Miami game. Virginia Tech scored to start the game on the bullshit fumble. Cam Ward in the box, one passing touchdown, 50 yards.
Who did he throw it to?
I don't know. I was
our guy?
Here. I don't think it was
George.
I don't think it was Rez. No, it wasn't. All right. Who are we going next? Zap, give me what you got.
So last week I was all over the Caleb, Rome, and DJ Moore stack on GPPs. Did pretty well for us. I'm going back to it. So the Rams play a heavy cover 3 scheme, and they have one of the worst pressure rates. So basically the same setup as he had last week against the Colts. So I'm going right back to Caleb Badunze and DJ Moore in my GPPs. I think Keenan Allen, more of they feel him in. He does some small routes. I don't think he's heavily involved. And another reason is Tre'Davious White has been burned every single game so far this year. He got burned by Jameson Williams, I think week 1. I can't remember who they played last week, but he got burned for a long touchdown. So I could see Rome Odunze going again over 100 and a touchdown. So I'll have them in another GPP stack this week. So
yeah, I love Odunze.
If I'm bringing it back, it'd be with Kyron. He just continues to see elite RB1 usage. He catches the ball. I think he had 6 targets in the red zone last week. Anytime they get in the red zone, it's all Kyron. So I love running it back with Kyron. I love his touchdown this week too. So
yeah, he's also things Tommy G invented from last year when I was clamoring for him to be MVP of the league. Jerry, are we going to Kyron? Are we paying up for him?
Yeah, I mean, I like Kyron. He's going to get a huge workload. As far as like the rest of the Rams go, like the Rams receivers, I'm not gonna sit here and try to guess which one of these guys is gonna get the targets. It's too messy for me. The Bears defense too, they're pretty tough against opposing receivers. I just don't see any of the Rams receivers popping off. Kyron's gonna get most of the work. If I had to choose a Rams receiver, just guess. I mean, maybe Demarcus Robinson. And I'm with you guys on Caleb. I like Caleb this week.
All right.
That you can pair him up with two. I would pair him up with two of those receivers.
Yeah, Adunze's the guy he's going to be clicking with heavy going forward. He was the guy that I was drafting in every league. They were hanging out the whole summer. This is going to be the combo that you're going to see. DJ Moore is probably going to throw tantrums, so they got to make sure to keep him involved. But I think Odunze ends up being the number one on this team by the end of the year if he's not already. Trevor, I like betting this game. I think there's some betting angles on this game here. The Rams, literally last week, obviously, we had the upset. I had the parlay in Rams money line, Carolina money line plus 1,000, which hit. Rams, every game has been going over, all of them. This totals 40.5. I think there's going to be a lot more DFS goodness than some people think. 51 points in their last game, 51 points in the game before that, and 46 points, which probably should have been a lot more than that, in the Detroit game. So they're giving us a total at 40 against two teams that are, the Rams still looked fine. They beat San Fran last week. Their offense looked okay, and Caleb looks like he just locked in last week and became the guy that I said he was going to be, Constantino, when you were ripping me apart for my Caleb Williams love affair.
I think he stinks, but at that price, I like him.
And there we go. Is that an interception? Let's fucking go. Here we go. Drones, you fucking loser. Miami ball. Pummel them. All right. What do you think, Trev?
Well, I mean, if you're the guy who avoided trading away Kyron Williams and kept him for your fantasy team this year from Tommy G,
I was trying to get him so bad.
Oh, he fucking
I was fucking trying to get him so bad.
I kept him in like the 12th round. So I'm a monster there. I'm on him this game. Awesome all year long so far. I really love him. I'm looking for some value. I really liked Whittington. I know I'm kind of stealing that from Tommy.
No, I mean,
listen, they're scheming to get him the ball a little bit. He breaks a couple of tricky trick plays. I like him. I like his value. I think they're going to need to pass the ball a little bit here. And with the way they scheme, I think they can get him the ball, and I think they're going to.
Yeah, I wasn't ecstatic with his snap share last week. Didn't play as much as I thought he would. Zach.
When he was he got the ball though.
He did, but we all thought he was going to be playing fucking 75% share. I think he played 38% or something like that. So, right, Zach, were you on that last week with me?
It's the NFL. What happens as soon as you go away from them?
Yeah, Zach, I was saying Whittington's snap share last week scared the shit out of me.
72 and a touchdown.
Colby Parkinson was the one that played like all the snaps.
Well, what happened was Tutu got hot early, and then they just left Tutu in for the whole time.
Tutu ain't gonna do shit this week, I don't think.
Plus, even when they were down, they just kept feeding Kyron too.
Yeah. So I mean, that was weird. That was weird. That didn't coincide with anything that we saw going on. I mean, dude, Whittington had a 50% snap share in week 2, performed well.
Yep.
Up in half the game, and then against the Niners, he plays 38%. So that kind of sucked, but still almost hit his prop. Just missed it. Hit the altar down 25+. So a lot of opportunities in that game. Let's move over to Green Bay, Minnesota. Trevor, I always get scared starting with you because I feel like you don't even know who's hurt or not.
Listen,
let me just tell you, Jordan Love. What do we got going on with Jordan Love there, Zeb?
So I've been seeing. I follow like coach speak. And everything they're saying is that Jordan Love won't be playing this weekend. I've seen rumors that
Miami just walking in.
I've seen that he limited all week. He could play, but he was limited all week last week. So I'm playing this game as if Malik Willis is starting the game right now until I get further confirmation Love is in. But on the other side of the ball, you do have Jordan Addison, who looks like he will be playing this week. So Jordan's happy. So,
all right, let's go, Jerry. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Minnesota's defense, it's one of the best defenses in the league. I mean, obviously we don't know the clear status with Jordan Love. If he does play, I like Jaden Reed, 6,300 on FanDuel and 6K on DraftKings. I think he's the one I would go to. I'm not crazy about Josh Jacobs here. Minnesota's been tough against the running backs, and Looks like Emmanuel Wilson's kind of cutting into his workload. I'm sure Jacobs is still the lead back over there. I just think there's better spots on the slate to go to for running back, so I don't think I'm going to go to him. What about that Aaron Jones revenge? I mean, I kind of like that. Couple it with it's a good matchup for him as well. So I like Aaron Jones a lot over here. Justin Jefferson, someone you can always play. He's matchup proof. Doesn't matter if Jair Alexander's on him. He always comes in low owned every week. I'll say this about Justin Jefferson, though. He's had some big games against Green Bay, but they've all been at home inside that dome in Minnesota. He hasn't really done well at Lambeau Field. So if you are going to roster him, just keep that in mind. His best games haven't come against the Packers at Lambeau.
All right, Chap.
I like Justin Naylor this week. He scored in every single game so far. He's a cheap at 4,900 if you want to kind of get different. I don't think Addison comes right back in and sees a full complement of snaps. I think they kind of ease him in. They're going to start getting healthy at the right time. You're going to see Hawkinson probably come back in the next week or two. You're getting Addison back. The run game's been dominant. If I'm going anywhere in this game, it's going to be Aaron Jones. I love the revenge game narrative. I think he gets in the box this week. He'd be someone that I'm putting in a touchdown parlay. And if you want to get, I know some of the subs play pick interceptions every single week. Sam Darnold's throwing a pick every single week. So I think that Green Bay defense picks one off and keeps that streak going for him. So,
All right, Mikey.
Zab, I peaked at Naylor, for reasons that you said, touchdown in each game. And then what kind of scared me off him was he's just so touchdown dependent. So even with a touchdown in each game, he still didn't really 3x his price in any of those games, because he wasn't getting the volume. So it kind of scared me off him. So I kind of agree with you on Naylor. It's just I was a little scared with him. But you said it with Aaron Jones. I mean, I love the revenge narrative. I love the fact that Aaron Jones said, when I score a touchdown this week, I'm doing the Lambeau leap. Not if I do. He goes, when I score, I'm doing the Lambeau leap. I like that. And I just think that, the Vikings defense, man, at 2,900, I think it's kind of like a little criminal. I mean, they're pretty good. They're flying around the ball. Now you got a divisional game, which, should tighten up. And I think it's a nice correlation with Aaron Jones. So Vikings D at 2,900 with Aaron Jones, who's, moderately priced at 6,400, for the usage that he's getting in a revenge game. I love it. So Jones and mini defense for me.
Yeah, mini defense has 16 sacks or something in the first 3 games,
insane.
Something insane.
2,900. So, get them under 3,000 still.
Yeah, I think it's only because they're on the road. But I mean, realistically, I don't think Willis is as good as he's been playing. And if Love comes back, he may still be a little banged up, may not be 100%. So I don't hate that call. I'm all over Aaron Jones, obviously, in this one from a touchdown prop perspective. I think he's going to be the favorite touchdown prop of most people who bet. So expect him to fall down at the 1 yard line 3 times. Trevor?
So, Tommy, quick question before I go. So, technically, we get about 40 to 80 seconds when it comes to us, right?
Whatever you want.
Okay, so I was supposed to go first. Then you just skipped right over me. It was awesome.
Yeah, I made it last
awesome.
second.
Never should go first every time now. That's it.
You got to remember, I'm paying no attention to this show.
I love it.
I have literally the biggest bet of my life.
Well, first of all, we want to talk about, yes, that is a wine pourer. I am elegant goat tonight. Secondly, let's go with, no one's talking about it. Yeah, Love's not coming back. Willis. I mean, kudos to Green Bay. How great have they been playing with this motherfucking guy at quarterback that no one is on, that got 25 fantasy points last week at fucking $5,000. So if he plays, I'm looking at him. Green Bay is at home. And then I'm all in Aaron Jones. Like, how people aren't on this motherfucker. They forget what a beast this guy is. They forget if he's got to receive, he's a receiver. If he's got to fucking bolt through the line, he bolts through the line, man. He's a beast. So those are my 2 on this game. So there you go.
All right. Yeah. I think everyone's on Aaron Jones, right? Is he going to be chalked? He's going to be chalked this week, right, Jerry?
Yeah, he's going to have some ownership.
I don't think it matters. I really fucking don't.
No, I like the spot here. Obviously, the revenge narrative for me. I'm a fucking narrative guy. Any other
and the cockiness saying when I score. I love it.
Well, what about any love for Willis? I don't think Love's going to play.
Listen, my thing with Willis is I'm totally I mean, he's viable, and I think he sucks. So I don't know. He
played good last week against Tennessee.
Yeah.
That was his revenge.
I don't know what's going on with this right now, but it may be a Green Bay thing where they can stick anyone back there and they're awesome. But for me, I watched Willis be too bad too often. I'm way more comfortable just playing his rushing prop and getting my new exposure to him that way. Zab put it out in the first week. We bet it again last week. Heavy at 71. For me, I'm okay with the fade. He's not going to beat me. You know, if he goes off, he's not beating me. So I'd rather go make fucking a few $1,000s on the fucking rushing prop and keep my DFS lineup with someone more like Caleb, who has a little more upside at a similar price. Where do you want to go next, guys? You want to jump over to Jacksonville, Houston, and this bag of complete fucking shit, Trevor Lawrence, that everyone in the world was telling me I was wrong on? Does everyone want to suck my dick now?
I've always hated Trevor Lawrence. So
he's so bad. So Trevor, since your name is Trevor, let's let you start here.
All in Trevor Lawrence. Fuck Tommy and Mike. No, just kidding. No kidding. I don't like Trevor Lawrence either. Sweet fucking Goldilocks.
No one likes him now. Y'all love him.
His giganticism.
Fucking loved him 2 years ago.
I am a huge Stroud's got a price tag, but I really love Stroud. I think he's a talent. I don't think he's quite a Mahomes, but I think he's a few paragraphs down from him. I think he's got a great career ahead of him, and he's got a staff to throw to. I love Nico Collins this week. I think he has another big game. Really, that's it. And if I go with the full stack, I mean, why not Diggs? Dell's out. So is it going to be the Colin Diggs week? Is Diggs really going to crush value this week? I mean, you got to find some value there, but there's a lot of value this week. So
Jerry,
that's where I'm looking.
Yeah, Trevor mentioned that Dell is out. We also have Mixon, who's questionable with an ankle injury. He was limited in practice this week. He practiced a little bit today. We're going to have to kind of wait on news on him. If he does miss, I mean, you can kind of go back to Cam Akers. Cam Akers kind of busted for everybody last week. I mean, he did end up getting in the end zone. He didn't completely bust. Like, you could have still had him in some lineups. He's probably going to be in a better game script this week. So I don't mind Cam Akers. His price is a little up on both sides, but he should be okay. It's going to be a popular game to target, especially with that Tank Dell injury. The Jags defense is shit. They're kind of on a short week, getting smoked on Monday night. They got to travel again. Stroud and the whole offense is in play over here.
Right. Akers is in the same boat for Willis the other game. Like, I think he's fine. I don't think he's going to win you a tournament.
I don't like Akers.
He's
at all.
playable.
Playable.
He's definitely playable. His price is not, astronomical. Like, you could definitely fit him if you land on him in some lineups. If he makes some lineups works, yeah, I think he's playable for sure.
I mean, it's not horrible, but when you're talking, there's a lot of guys around him that I would like a little bit better.
Like I said, he's not a horrible play. He's not a core play for me. But I mean, you got to talk about with Mixon out, he is in play. And then you got Stroud. You want to attack it with the Stroud stacks. You want Stroud. You want Nico Collins. You want Steph Diggs. If you want to get a little bit different, I think Dalton Schultz. He's somebody you can play as well. But yeah, on the Jags side, I mean, they're ugly. I mean, you don't feel good playing. You don't feel good playing any of these guys. But in a trailing script, I'm going to imagine that one of these receivers is going to get some targets. Yeah, I'm not going to be playing Trevor Lawrence. I don't want anything to do with ETN. But I think one of these receivers, they kind of would get there. I think Kirk is the one that I would want to use.
Yeah, Thomas
is going to be kind of like locked up with Stingley. So I don't know if I'm going to go to him. Kirk is the guy I want.
I think this is touchdown for fucking $7,000 last week and didn't get it. Cocksucker.
Yeah, I haven't played Kirk in like 3 years. I don't know why. He just never ends up on my team, which is price. He's always next to someone I love for some reason every week, no matter what they price him at. Zab, for me, this is a great Stroud week, especially if Mixon misses, right? I don't believe in Cam Akers. I think he sucks. No. But if Mixon misses, this is one of the few opportunities we're going to get where we're actually going to know where the ball's going from Stroud, right? Like, it takes one of those three-headed monsters out of the equation, and it should just be a Nico Diggs funnel, correct?
Yeah. Nico, actually, I was looking at it last night, and then he popped up with a hamstring injury, so I kind of waited. But he has a great matchup. He destroys zone coverage. That's what he's always, last couple of years, every time he popped off for big weeks, it was always against zone coverage schemes. Not only that, but you mix in all these injuries that the Jags have.
No pun intended. You mix in all the injuries?
Yeah.
Mixing?
I gotcha. They're missing Foyoli Oken, who's probably one of the—
Watch your mouth. Don't curse on the stream.
Hey, he's probably one of the hands down the best linebackers in the game. He's a run stopper. They're still banged up on the secondary. So now I think they're just going to run crossing and just drop Nico right in the middle of that field, and he's just going to destroy them all game. I like his receptions. I like his total. I'm all in Nico this week.
If anyone knows anything about the Texans, I was making a lot of money off it last year. You play Stroud and Nico versus a zone. Stroud was the #1 passing quarterback in the entire NFL last year as a rookie versus zone defenses. This is the time. This is the spot, especially if you're taking away one weapon and mixing. I think it's an auto play here.
Also, his price on FanDuel is like super cheap, so he's easier to get to on FanDuel than
DraftKings. He's expensive, right? He's like 7,000 or something.
He's $7K on DraftKings.
Yeah, he's cheaper on FanDuel. So, who else? Did I miss anyone here? Mike, did I get to you? Did I get to everyone?
Not yet, but I mean, I don't want to beat it to death. But Nico Collins, I mean, I absolutely love him in this spot, and everybody obviously talked about him. The Houston defense at 3,000 is a little interesting to me too, because I do expect them to play from the front, which means that the defense can kind of tee off on Trevor Lawrence, who's looked horrible. So, in that Vikings at 2,900 and Texans at 3,000, I kind of like, both of them. So in my builds, I'll get to the Vikings and my Aaron Jones lineups and pair them for some correlation. And then maybe my Nico and my Texans defense correlation too. Like, Nico having a big game, Houston playing from in front and getting to tee off on Lawrence. So it's really it on there. And Jerry or Zab mentioned earlier about Stingley. Is that a fact that he's going to be locking up on Brian Thomas?
I mean, Thomas is on the outside. Stingley's going to be on him.
And the reason why I ask is going into that comment, I was going to say Brian Thomas because, his usage is up, but also it's kind of like a wild card now with the Jags, right? Like Kirk is obviously the wide receiver 1 per se, but Thomas has a ton of talent. And when you're watching him play, he's very explosive. And for a tournament at 5,400, he might be the type of guy that I want to get ahead of before the big game goes off. So if I'm not playing that Texans D, and I want to get a little, maybe Nico line up with a little run back, I might even get on Brian Thomas and hope to pick off that huge game before the price goes up. And at 5,400, he acts as another pivot off of Deontay Johnson in that range. So that's really it for me.
All right, let's go. Pitt, Indy. Oh, Trevor, did you go?
Trevor here.
No.
Did you go on this one?
I did, Thomas.
Okay, guys, I'm not paying attention.
Thomas is on the fucking moon tonight.
No, I'm on the Miami tonight.
I know.
I don't give a fuck about this show right now.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not nice to hear, Tommy.
Yeah, not at all. Pitt, Indianapolis here. I have my favorite play. I know Zab's on the same play on this fucking game. George Pickens to the moon. This is the game. Zab, you can't have a better matchup right here.
No, this is going to be this is the same reason we targeted Caleb and Adunze last week and DJ Moore is how bad this Colts front is right now.
And by the way, Trevor, this is the reason you don't play Willis because Fields is like the same price. This is where I was getting to. Goes up.
Also, Jalen Warren is out in this game.
Jalen Warren is out.
Yeah.
So is Kenny Moore for the Colts slot corner. I just think Pickens eats all game. I think that they're going to try out. I think Russ is trying to make his way back. So I think Fields coming out and just having a big game to cement him.
To put a nail in that coffin.
As the starter is coming. So they're beat up. They still don't. DeForest Buckner's on IR. I think we see Fields rushing. I think we see a couple deep balls to Pickens. So
okay. Yeah, and if you wanted to play, I mean, you don't have to play Pickens with Fields, obviously. It's just if you're doing that. But if you do play Stroud, I think here, Jerry, if you want that Stroud Nico dig stack, that gets kind of expensive, right? All those guys are 6,600, 7,000 in that range. This game kind of gives you a little leeway here. I think this game is sexier than people think. I have my interest on a little Downs Pickens. I know, obviously, we don't really want to target wide receivers against Pittsburgh. Their defense is amazing. I think there's going to be a bad game script for Indy. I think Downs has an opportunity to at least hit value here. But what do you think, everyone, in this game?
Yeah, I mean, I like the Pittsburgh side for sure. I love Pickens. Fields is definitely playable here. I think you kind of, if you want for more, you could throw Freiermuth in there too. I think they're going to be throwing a lot in this game. Najee definitely in play, like I mentioned, with Warren out. The Colts are getting beat up on the ground, through the air. I mean, Najee, he's going to come with some ownership, but I think you could play Fields and Najee together here. I think because Fields is so cheap. Running back with anybody from the Indy side, I like the cheaper receivers. I'm not into Michael Pittman. There's something going on with him and Anthony Richardson. They're just not connecting. Pierce, maybe. Pierce or Downs. I mean, nothing I'm going to target in my main lineups, but I don't mind one of them.
Yeah, that's where I would be with Downs too. It's like if I have to go with him, I'm okay with it, but I'm not forcing that in.
Do you guys think Joey Porter Jr. just shadows Pittman all game?
He's going to shadow one of those guys.
He's going to be on. Yeah, I think he's going to.
Go on.
I think it's Pittman.
Yeah, I would think it'd be Pittman he would shadow, which would just open up Downs and Pierce all game. Like I said, like you guys said, I don't know if I'm going to go there in one of my main lineups, but he might be, if I do kind of a game stack, he'd be my bring back option.
And here's the thing. Here's where the betting side of it becomes obviously a great hedge, handicap, mental fucking break where you love someone, but you can't get them into your lineups. Downs is props 34.5. Fade Downs in DFS, just play his prop, right? I'm going over 34.5 because if he gets the prop at 40, that's still probably going to be shit for your DFS lineup, but you win money on the prop side. If he goes for 90, maybe you ladder him up on the props. Mike, what do you think?
I like Fields and this price at 5,500. I mean, he finally had a decent game last week, putting up 19 points, but at this price tag and for what you guys are saying about Pickens, I like that, but I'm not the biggest Pickens guy, and it's a great spot for him, but everybody's on him too. So to get a little different, and bear with me here, maybe in one of my fields on him, and I'm only talking deep GPP tournaments, like where you need that. I can't believe the guy played him and he won. Going with Cordarrelle Patterson here. With Warren out, he's going to get, more carries than he ever has. He does, play a little bit of everywhere like a gadgety player. So in a GPP build, if I'm going Fields, I might just stay off Pickens to fade the field and then throw in something wacky like a Patterson with him at 4,300, where if he gets, 50 yards, a touchdown, a couple catches, he 3X's that price. And, and if Pickens does have a bad game, I like that a little bit.
All right, Jerry, how owned is Pickens going to be? I don't think he's as owned as Mike said.
I think he's less than 10% for sure.
Yeah. You don't have to get off Pickens. He's not going to be that owned. We're just all on him, but the public's not on him. Trev, what do you like here?
Oh, well, Mike wanted a rematch, but he's not going to get one of last week because all y'all have got short fucking memory. Patterson pissing everyone off. How the fuck did Patterson do? Why the fuck did Patterson get the? He's a safety blanket, guys. Here's my pick this week. Patterson gets in the fucking box. That's it, and it's going to piss everyone off. Listen, I still think, Pickens has a great game, but Patterson's getting in the box, and it's going to piss a lot of motherfuckers off. So
collaboration, me and Trevor.
You guys are collabing now.
I know. I wanted to fight. I wanted to fight, Mike.
Last week it was Calvin Austin. Calvin Austin had 95 yards and a touchdown. It could be him too.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if there's one thing Patterson does, he gets in the box.
It could be, but I didn't call that, and it's going to be whatever I call. So
I like it. Let's go. Collab, baby.
Anyone else have anything on that game? Nope. All right, let's move on to the next one. Jets, Denver. This is going to be an interesting spot. A lot of people have a lot of different opinions on this game. Mike, we talked about it a little bit on the show, I believe. Is this one of the games?
I have the Jets in an open parlay, to close out, what I had Dallas last night. Breece Hall, man, he torched the Denver defense last year. Don't see why he can't do that again. I like him at 7,800. He would be my play there. Wilson got off to a slow start, and I don't want to jump on the Wilson, bandwagon for this game and this matchup. So Breece Hall would be my preferred play in this game, on the Jets side. And on the Denver side, it just nothing really tickles my fancy on the Denver side. So it's Breece Hall for me. That's it.
All right, Jerry.
Yeah, I'm with you on Breece Hall. He's the workhorse. Kenneth Walker ran for 103 yards against the Broncos earlier this year. They haven't really faced an elite running back since then. So I think Breece is going to kind of get that same.
Pittsburgh rushed for $140 on him too.
Yeah, Breece is definitely in play over here.
Yeah,
I think the sneaky play in this game, sneaky. If Garrett Wilson's going to be tangled with Pat Surtain, I kind of like Allen Lazard.
You motherfucker, son of a bitch.
You wanted Allen Lazard?
Well, luckily I said on stay cash in first, so at least I got it in first. But yes, I love Lazard this week. I think it's more for – I do love the running game on this on both sides. I don't think Braylon Allen is out of play at 5,300. I think this is – Zab, you've seen me in the chat. I've been saying it for fucking weeks that this is going to be a 50-50 timeshare by week 8.
But can I say something?
Really?
Yeah, go.
They haven't played since
100%.
Thursday. They haven't played since last Thursday. He's got 10 days to rest. Like, he's fresh. He's ready to go. I like Breece Hall even more because of that.
I'm going to tell you something right now as a Jets fan. Breece Hall is not as good of a running back as you guys think he is. He's not. He is a great, versatile back. Braylon Allen is significantly a better running back than Breece Hall for what the Jets are looking to do. So, listen, Zab, you were in the chat. I said yesterday before the last week before the game, everyone laughed at me. He's going to be 60-40. He got 41% of the carries last week. So I'm telling you guys, Braylon Allen, I watched this kid in college. He's a fucking savage. This dude is Brian Robinson. And Breece Hall is a guy that you don't want to get fucking banged up. Now, Breece is going to be fine. He's going to get his 15 carries. He's going to get his 5 catches. He's going to score 25 DraftKings points. He's awesome right now for fantasy. But Braylon Allen, as this season goes on, is going to start driving you guys more nuts and more nuts and more nuts as it goes on. So, listen, 5,400. I think he scores a touchdown this week. I think he ends with 60, 70 rushing yards. Could be fine, if you're in a spot and you need to mix it or break it up a little bit. But watch. This is going to be a 60-40 carry thing the rest of the year.
I don't like that, though.
Smart.
Yeah.
It's smart.
But I mean, it's fine because the Jets run the ball so much. As long as they have a lead, they're both going to get, you're going to get 10 carries out of Braylon Allen. You're going to get 15 out of Breece Hall. Breece Hall doesn't do shit on the ground, guys. If he doesn't break a long run, he does nothing.
This would be the week to do it because he historically did good against Denver, but also Denver can't stop the run.
Yeah. The thing about, and not to, wax poetic on this, but I think people need to understand this when they talk about Breece Hall. He's not consistent on the ground. He's literally hasn't topped 60 yards all year, I don't think, on the ground. And last year, here's how many games he went over 60 yards. So look at me, 127, 9, 18, 56, 177, 39, 17, 50, 28, 23, 25, 16, 40, 12. I mean, guys, 12, 95, 84, 178, right? So he either goes for 100 or 40. That's Breece Hall. And every one of those games that he went off, 83-yard run, 72-yard run. If Hall doesn't house one, he's not a very good running back. I'm telling you. He doesn't hit the holes. Braylon does. So just keep that in mind going forward. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. So, Tommy, I'm kind of surprised that the Jets whisper didn't pick up on this. He finally figured out who his fucking tight end was. I like Conklin a little bit here. He finally found him last week. He's a talented tight end. Aaron Rodgers likes to throw to the tight end. It's still Aaron Rodgers, guys. He's going to throw the ball a little bit. So
Aaron Rodgers is going to throw to whoever's open. That's what he's going to do. Fair. And that's why everyone's in play. Everyone's in play. I'm agreeing with you there, Trevor. Like, that's the thing. When you have a guy like Surtain, because I saw a lot of people debating on Twitter today that Garrett Wilson's uncoverable. It doesn't matter. Aaron Rodgers isn't going to look at Surtain. He's not going to go that way. He's going to go over to Lazard. And Lazard's in another situation that we talked about earlier. You don't even need to play him in DFS. I mean, if you get him in, he's cheap and he should be good. I think he gets in the box. His prop's like 31, Jerry. I mean, he blows through that prop.
I'm with you. I like Lazard a lot this week.
Yeah. Who else has a take on this?
I just want to – I talked about it on Stay Cashing, but Alex Singleton, which is one of the better linebackers, especially for Denver, is out. He got put on IR, and he's one of their best run-stopping linebackers. So that's going to open up a lot of lanes for him, Breece. So it makes me like Breece leaving a little bit more. But
and I want to say I do love Breece this week. I do think this is a great spot. Yeah.
Yeah, you pick your spot to him. This is one of those spots.
He's a fantastic DFS play no matter what, because this is a very good spot for Breece.
You like any props for Breece Hall then?
I like all of them. I like Breece Hall receiving. I like Breece Hall rushing this week. I think there's a great matchup. I think this is a team you can exploit on the ground. So there will be. I think he pops one for 60 on the ground this week. I do.
What do you think about
anytime touchdown minus 150? He's scoring this week.
Yeah, he's scoring. I think he breaks a long one. I think it's a great spot for him. Keep in mind, if he doesn't break one for 60, he's going to rush for 50 yards. That's just what he does. What'd you say, Zeb?
Mike Williams. No one is talking about this guy, and he pops up with one game a year where he goes for like 120 and 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Could this?
I wish he was in the 4s. If he was 4,500, yeah, right, Jerry. Like he's just he's up a little too high.
Lazard's price is what's putting me on him,
Yeah, exactly. And Lazard's done it twice already this year too, right? So we're not really guessing with Lazard. He's $800 cheaper, and he's already had 2 games where he's top 13 fantasy points.
Yeah, so Mike Williams is 5,100. I mean, there's guys around him.
But listen, you want to play him in a milli maker? I'm totally fine with it, dude. He can definitely box 2 of them. But end of the first quarter, down to the 5. Let's go. Score in the second. Give me a quarter.
Where's Horton? Non-existent.
Yeah.
Horton, non-existent.
Okay, let me talk about the college football. You don't even know what fucking team he's on. Anyone else here? Anyone else have a play?
I will co-sign that Mike Williams though, because his usage is ticking up. He's getting a little healthier. A lot of focus on Garrett Wilson, and Surtain's not going to travel against Mike Wilson. So I like that call.
I mean, listen, I'll tell you this: if you need a pure punt, like literally, what we were just saying before, Aaron Rodgers is going to throw to whoever is open. Gibson, if you need a 3,300, right? You're not going here voluntarily. This is something where you got a milli maker lineup. He saw 60% of the snaps in the first week. He went down to 21%, still 21% of the snaps last week. Ended up with a couple grabs. Being that Garrett Wilson's going to be jammed up, if Denver somehow can lock down the run, Gibson's someone I could see maybe going 4 for 40 or something like that. If you needed a 3K receiver just to try and get you 8, I think it's possible in a game like this with Wilson locked up, but just something to keep an eye on. Let's move over to Philadelphia, Tampa Bay. Mike, you're the Jalen Hurts lover, so every time Jalen Hurts is up, I let you go first, and Jalen Hurts sucks, so go on.
Yeah. Oh, God. Well, Philly does have a very good offensive line. You know, they have a good matchup this week against the Tampa defensive line. I do kind of, Barkley to me. I mean, how do you not love, Saquon Barkley? The volume's there.
The only person
there
is GM.
And now with, the wide receiver room really banged up, I mean, you got to go like Barkley and Goddard, right? And Goddard's priced up a little at 5,100, but he should still have decent usage there. So, Barkley's my number one play. And then if I wanted to get more in the passing game, I'll have maybe a taste of Goddard. And I like Hurts this week to run a lot, and I know somebody has to step up there, and catch the ball. And we haven't seen anything yet from Dotson. Like, where the fuck is he?
Yeah. The guy that I would be looking at.
Is he even playing? I mean, like, he doesn't do anything. I mean, is this the week for fucking good. John Dotson?
I mean, dude, he's getting a 90
either.
He's getting like a 90% snap share, Jerry.
Yeah.
He's just not fucking getting the ball.
This is the fucking week when everybody banged up, so maybe a little pivot off of Goddard.
He's just running go routes. I mean, that's it. He's just running.
But this might be the week. I mean, it's hard to.
I'll give you a guy that if you want to take a fucking complete stab flyer, Jerry, the guy that I would like more than Gibson, who I just mentioned, I would take a stab on Paris Campbell if everyone's out. I mean, is he still on the team right now? He is, right?
He got elevated.
They moved him up, right? Because I saw last week he was in there. So this is a guy who maybe you could take a dart on. Saw a couple targets against New Orleans.
I mean, if he plays
3,000, he played 50% of the snaps last week. It's not the worst thing in the world.
It's another one of those things like the Rams. Like, I'm not going to sit here and try to guess who's going to get the ball. I'm not going to take a chance on any of those guys. Goddard, on DraftKings 5,100, definitely like him. He's 7,500 on FanDuel, just too expensive over there. He's definitely going to get usage, but that's a big price to pay for a tight end. Saquon, he's going to be the focal point in this offense again. Plus, Tampa's defense is also pretty banged up. They're bad against the run. It's Saquon or Goddard for me. With Tampa, Godwin, I mean, he seems like he's in play every week. He's never priced up too expensive. He just seems like he's putting up numbers consistently. I like him. I like Mike Evans too there. Philly's secondary, it's one that we're always going to attack. He's in line for a big game. So this could be one of them. The running backs with Tampa, it looks like Bucky Irvin he's got some hamstring issues. I mean, if he was to miss or he's limited or whatever, I mean, I don't mind.
Get the door. Just take over the next game too if I'm not back.
I don't mind Rachaad White. His price is the lowest that we've seen in the last.
I hope that's a robber and they hit him and they steal his stuff. I hope that's not a delivery. I hope that
they're going to take that Jets memorabilia.
Yeah, someone is stealing his shit right now. Someone who was watching the show, they hit him. And now they're taking his shit. So
what did he order?
If not, let's do it next week.
What's at the door? Liquor? What did he order? Let's guess what he ordered.
Liquor.
100% got to be liquor, right?
Yeah.
What liquor? I know.
Liquor or
he gets weird shit though too. He gets the stuff the girls drink. Like,
didn't he do like rum last week or some shit?
I mean,
he's got wine coolers. He got wine coolers delivered.
No, Tommy.
Yeah, he gets weird shit, Jerry. He gets those like
wine coolers do nothing.
Poppers, like Quixote lime, and
wine coolers do nothing for him.
When he gets back, let's just tell him it's his turn.
We
went through everything. It's his turn.
But yeah, I kind of like Rachaad White a little bit if Bucky Irvin he misses. But outside of that, I mean, I think it's Goddard for me in this game. I like Goddard and I like Mike Evans.
Yep.
Go ahead, Mikey, you're up.
Yeah, I like Godwin too. Every week is Godwin week. It feels like the last couple of weeks. the way to attack the Eagles is through the slot. So I'm going right back to Godwin. I was on him last week. I'm going to keep attacking him. So I do like Mike Evans to get in the box, though. So if I'm looking at someone to get in the end zone, it's always going to be Mike Evans from Tampa Bay. The Eagles would be Goddard. Like Scarface said, I'm not playing guess which wide receiver goes off for the Eagles. So it's either Goddard or Barkley, but that's about it for this game.
Are we worried about weather?
I don't know if the hurricane's affecting this game. Is it? There might be a little bit of weather, but they're playing the game. If the hurricane was affecting it at all, they would have canceled it by now.
I'm just looking at DraftKings and it has a picture of a cloud with rain coming out. So when that happens, I ask you guys.
Yeah, this game is playing for sure. I don't know how much the weather's going to affect it, but they're playing it.
All right. Mikey, what do you think?
I didn't look at the weather yet. I do see that cloud, but I didn't look into the weather. But I didn't hear anything otherwise. Saying
What about
50% chance of rain.
Look, the over and under dropped from 46.5 to 42. So there might be a little bit of weather issue.
It helps.
It's actually going to be hot.
It helps Barkley. It helps Jalen Hurts cause. The Barkley Hurts. It helps.
They said it's got high humidity.
AJ Brown is not ruled out yet. AJ Brown is still questionable. Like there is a slight chance he plays.
Fair. Mike, you're up next. What do you like in this game?
I did this one already. I said Barkley and Goddard.
Okay. I only like Barkley. So I'm going to go on to the next game and lead into Jerry. Washington, Arizona. My Redskins. Go.
Go. You're up.
Oh, I'm up. My Redskins.
Yeah, you're Redskins. You talk about them.
Listen. Fucking Eckler's out. All in Robinson right here. I think Robinson has been really a big part of this offense right from the beginning. I mean, I'm all in Redskins stack. I mean, we can go Daniels, Eckler, McLaurin. I mean, Redskins could win you a GPP this weekend. On the other side of the ball, I know we got chat here talking about Wilson. That's great. But I think Harrison is the next coming of God. So Harrison, I think he's really good. So I like him as a play as well.
Oh, my God. He threw a pick?
Connor's always in play, but I don't really love him this weekend. But the game is in Arizona, and Redskins are a little worse on the road. So Kyler Murray, I'm not sold on Kyler Murray. I don't like his price point. McBride is out though. So how do we feel about the backup tight end?
Yeah, I mean, with Arizona, Washington, it's the worst defense in the league. So it's hard to see them not putting up points here. Also, like you mentioned with the McBride injury, we're going to see some value open up. Kyler and Marvin Harrison, and they're obvious. I mean, they're going to be one of the most popular plays on the slate. I love Marvin Harrison here. With McBride missing, you can look to guys like Greg Dortch or Michael Wilson, or even more with some value, you can go to Elijah Higgins. He's 3,100 on DraftKings, filling in for Trey McBride. I think you can stack Kyler here with one or two of these receivers for sure. The leverage play, if you want to get off some of that ownership, is James Conner. Washington is still giving up 5.2 yards per carry, 148 yards on the ground. It could very well just be a James Conner game. Like he could run all over them here.
Banged up.
And they're playing at home. I like James Conner a lot over here.
Right. When's he getting banged up? Because it's coming soon.
I mean, we don't know that.
You're not going to predict that.
Yes, we do.
You're the fucking big. You're not going to play James Conner.
No, no. I like Conner, but he's due to get banged up, and now's about the time he takes his 2 or 3.
Yeah, but we're not playing like that. We're not going to sit here and guess injuries either.
This is a joke. What's going on in this Miami game? They should be up 28-0, and it's 14-14. They're still going to cover, but that's
also. I want to mention on the Washington side, you got a little Zach Ertz revenge. I mean, he did play for the Cardinals. I don't mind him either. He's 4K on DraftKings. If you're going to be playing Jaden Daniels, I don't mind pairing him up with Zach Ertz. And of course, McLaurin. He popped off last week with Eckler out. So the use is going to go somewhere. Brian Robinson definitely in play also.
All right. Who didn't go? I
didn't go yet, but I mean, you guys kind of touched on all the pieces. I like Kyler Murray and almost naked or with James Conner. The reason is, again, with McBride out. I mean, sometimes you see those Michael Wilson games or the Greg Dortch game. Like it's just like almost like that pick a receiver type thing. So Kyler only, you kind of cover it all. And I do like the pairing of Connor and Murray. Now you're getting all the passing, all the rushing yards, and not really guessing on a receiver. And Washington can be pushed around, in the defensive front. So I kind of like that pairing there. Murray and Connor. And then on the bring back, I do like Brian Robinson Jr. Very nice, 6,100. I think Arizona could be run on. Eckler's out of the way. Feed him.
Yeah. Brian Robinson Jr. definitely in this spot. I think this game has shootout potential, but I really could see it.
I do too, Tommy. I like the over here.
I could see it. Dude, every time Arizona is in a game with flirting with a 50 total, something goes wrong. Kyler Murray does something stupid and goes full retard. So that's the only concern, but it should go over. I mean, this should be a field day. But Jaden Daniels, obviously, you guys know I love this kid. He's fucking incredible. Definitely in play here.
Tommy, you said concern. We all were really concerned when you got it. We didn't know if you were going to get robbed.
What do we get? What came
if the rest of the people were listening, they would have heard at the beginning of the show when I told everyone I had an alcohol delivery.
You got drinks. We were trying to guess what drinks you got.
Yeah, I put way too much tequila in this.
Don't knock us for being
hard liquor.
Yeah, I'm running low on tequila.
Did you get any of those little sissy drinks you get? Like the little pop girly wine?
Tequila seltzer. You're talking to a guy that drinks Everclear, Mike. Don't try to kick on me with alcohol.
Oh, you do get those girly. Let's admit that you do get those little Jerry, the novelties that you put at the checkout counter.
Mike, why did I always used to get those?
I've seen Tommy drink.
Spanish Fly the girls.
Well, girls always drink those fun. And dude, with the P. Diddy shit going on, don't even joke about that. Girls always fucking like to drink the fruity drinks. You had to have them in the house. I've been a married man now for the last couple of years, so haven't needed to do it. So it's just straight tequila and seltzer.
You're married?
Yeah, I'm married. Let's go to San Francisco. Yeah, his name is Frank. Let's go to San Francisco, New England here. Obviously, we have a injury situation with McCaffrey. I think Debo might play, right?
Kittle is playing. Debo, we don't know yet.
Yeah, Debo's the one who might play. Debo scares the shit out of me anytime in DFS because he gets hurt every game. And just constantly leaves the field. So, Mike, what do you like in this one, San Fran, New England?
I definitely don't like anyone on New England. I mean, I know everyone's saying, "Oh, Pop Smoke and fucking Henry here," and what, just zero interest really on that side. I mean, this could be one of those games where the Niners defense just completely eats, and they break the slate. The 3,800, they're a spend up. I kind of like the San Fran D here. I mean, I just don't see anything coming out of that New England offense. It's tough to go back to Jennings, but with the price still at 5,600, and if Debo is out, I mean, I don't hate it. Ayuk maybe on a bounce back game, but I'm not rushing to the window. I mean, Purdy's banged up this week. I know you guys have seen that. And now, even though the tag's coming off him a little bit, I'm just not rushing to get on Purdy. I almost feel like this is going to be one of those games where both teams are just going to run the ball and look to get out of there healthy, move on to the next week, and let their guys heal. Terrible spot for New England. I mean, just going out to San Fran, just not playing the best of ball. I mean, I just see like a low-scoring game, San Fran defense heavy. Maybe I'll have a little Jordan Mason and a little Jennings.
Okay. You're not going back to Jennings, huh?
I'm not going back all in on him per se, and a lot of it's hinging on Debo, but obviously it's tough to replicate what he did, but he is the receiver. If Debo's out and whatnot, he's still fairly priced at 5,600. Yeah. But I'm just not in a rush in this game. I see a very low-scoring game, running the ball with just the clock running, like let's get out of town, let's get out of Dodge. Purdy's hurt, he's banged up, and the last thing they want is him to now be injured and out. So I could just see a lot of handoffs.
Jerry, I think this price is too close to Ayuk to play now. When Mike got him last week down in the 4s, yeah, that was the time to play him at 4K. He's too close to Ayuk to play now, Johnny.
Did you guys see the thing on Twitter today with Ayuk and Shanahan going at it because of some shorts he was wearing?
No.
They got into it.
Every receiver who signs a big contract turns into a bitch, and every quarterback who signs a big contract turns into a bag of shit. It's amazing. Every major quarterback who signed for $60 million, Dak, Trevor Lawrence, they all go to shit, and every wide receiver turns into a fucking cunt. What is going on with this league?
I hate Dak. Here we go. Fuck out of here. I hate it.
I like the running backs in this game, and of course, I like Jordan Mason. His price on DraftKings never seems to move. I mean, they did a good job on FanDuel. They priced him up to 8,800, but he's still cheap on DraftKings. It's very hard to get away from him.
Yeah.
He's only 6,700.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, on the Pats side, I don't think the Patriots are going to fold in this game. Like, they've had 10 days to prepare for this game. The last time they played was on Thursday against the Jets. We saw Ramondre only have like 6 carries. I think that game kind of got away from them. I think Ramondre has a bounce back game over here. Like, he's still going to be running the hell out of the ball. We saw what Kyron Williams did last week to the Niners. They were playing from behind, and they still caught up using Kyron Williams. I think we see a big bounce back game from Ramondre Stevenson over here, and he's priced pretty cheap. I kind of like him as a low-owned play in tournaments. There's nobody else on the pass that I really like. The Niners, yeah, I like Jordan Mason. I don't think I'm into Brock Purdy over here. I don't know. I don't think I'm into the receivers either. I mean, we got to see what's going to happen with Debo. If Debo misses, yeah, then maybe. We got Kittle coming back. But I like the running backs both in this game.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Everything you just said, I co-sign all of it. Zap.
Trent Williams popped up with an injury today in practice. I think it was a toe.
Oh, geez, that's a problem then.
Yeah, so I'll be monitoring that heading into the weekend. But if he plays, it's Jordan Mason. New England typically plays a 2-deep coverage, so I think they're going to hit a lot underneath. I like Kittle. I like Ayuk on the crossing routes. I think I'm going to avoid Jennings. I think everybody goes to him, and I think this is the week that Kittle and Ayuk pop. So,
What do you think about Ramondre?
I like Stevenson. I like him there, Jerry.
I've never been a Ramondre guy.
I'm not either, but I like him this week.
I think if anything, you might see a little more Gibson uptick. I could see San Fran getting up quick and then them just doing little dump offs to Gibson. But yeah,
I'll tell you what. No one wants to listen to me. San Fran ain't getting up on fucking anybody without Debo and McCaffrey. Last week we had the Rams on the money line. Dude, I'm telling you,
still lost.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're not beating up on anyone. That's not happening. They cannot beat up on teams without McCaffrey and Debo. They lost to the Rams outright last week without Puka, without 2 linemen, and without Cooper Kupp. So everyone's talking about how the Niners were half a team. The Rams are half a team, and they don't have a Kittle and an Ayuk and all. They got fucking Winningtons and Robinsons running around below that. Niners still outmanned them last week. So, listen, New England sucks, but New England can muddy up a game. That's the one thing they can do. I see this being a muddy under on this, and I think this is the only week you'll hear me say I like Stevenson. And I hate him. I never play him. I never bet him. I don't hate it, Jerry.
I like that you said you like the under, Tommy, because I don't know if you were still gone or whatnot, but I mean, I said that. And then also, I just want to add one more thing before you pass it off. It's also a bad spot for New England coming off a physical divisional game, at the Jets. Now they go to San Fran, and then they got to come home and play the Dolphins, another divisional rival. So I can see them kind of like glossing over the game or writing it off a little bit, or the installation not being there.
Yeah, right.
And I think it's a real tough spot for New England.
Yeah, New England ain't right now. They've also had 10 days off. You guys got to remember.
They've had 10 days off. They haven't played.
They've had a lot of time. I think it's the exact opposite. I think they're going to be better.
I think they're way more prepared for this game than the Niners.
Yeah, way more than they were for the Jets.
I love the 10.5. What is it? 10.5? I'll take the points all day in this game.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a muddy game, and I think I think this game ends like fucking
under, definitely under
2013 or something. Let's move on to a better game. Not much, but Chiefs Chargers. We're looking at Herbert. What's going on with him?
He's questionable. He's out of the walking boot. He's been limited in practice. I think he plays. I just don't know how mobile he'll be if he does play. They're already super banged up on the O-line. They're missing, I want to say they're one guard, and I think their left tackle's possibly going to get ruled out. So they're without Bosa too. Derwin James is suspended. I posted in chat that I love Chris Jones' sack this weekend. I think he just destroys this game. So, there's not – I could see Herbert maybe playing a quarter or two and then taking a bad sack and then him being out. They're also on the bye next week, so I could almost see them –
I wouldn't even play them. You're not.
I could see them pulling them and just sitting them and then letting them get healthy over the bye week. Give them 2 weeks to rest up, so –
yeah, I wouldn't. So, Jerry, what are we looking at here?
I mean, I don't see anything on the Chargers side that I like. KC defense, I mean, they're tough. There's nothing I feel like I need to go to on the Chargers side. With the Chiefs, like, even though they've been winning these games, outside of, like, Rashee Rice, there hasn't been really anybody that we've needed to target in DFS. Rice, I mean, he's the one that's getting the targets, the production each game for sure. Like I love Rashee Rice, but he's now 8,500 on FanDuel. I mean, we used to get him in the 7Ks. Now they price them like all the way up with the elite receivers. On DraftKings, I think he's a little bit more playable. He's like in the 7Ks there. Kelsey, like he's going to have a breakout game at some point, but there's just so many better options at tight end. Like I never feel the need to pay Kelsey's price, especially with what we've been seeing from him. The same goes for Mahomes. Like outside of like a showdown slate, he's never somebody I like to target on these big main slates. He never really puts up like monster games anymore. Like you don't need to be paying for him. Like, and also like the running back situation, it's still kind of messy. Steele, like I guess he can be played. He's cheap. He did see 17 carries last game. I don't know. I don't see the upside with him. I don't feel the need to go to anybody in this game at all. Outside of maybe Rashee Rice, everybody else is a cross out for me.
Okay. I actually like Steele a lot more than you do in this one. I think when you were looking at the game last week for Steele, I mean, that's a lot of carries, right? Like you're looking at a guy who's going to be getting 17 carries. He's going to get the goal line work. I think that's viable there. I think we're in a spot where I'm okay with Steele for sure at that price, Trevor.
Steele, but we got to mention, I hear everything you're saying, Jerry.
Yeah, I know where you're gonna go.
It's sitting there. I hear you, but at some motherfucking point, Kelsey's going to go for 6 touchdowns and 27 yards because they got but you know what? You get my point. I'm exaggerating, but at some point,
he's gonna have his game for sure.
You're gonna have to get him ready for the playoffs because they are going to fucking need Kelsey to win the Super Bowl. Period. Might fucking drop.
And from the beginning, week 7, week 6, week 5, the same go up.
I do the 3-entry max, so maybe I'll throw a Kelsey. We're gonna get one. I don't know if it's this week, but it might be.
The only thing that's scaring me off Steele a little bit is the Kareem Hunt situation. Like, what's going on with Hunt? Have we heard? I've been following.
He's going to rotate in this week. He's going to play.
No.
So, yeah, I mean, they've
really
tried 5,200 to have him priced at, too. So, yeah, that probably takes you off Steele completely then.
What the fuck have I been?
I have no play in this game. No play.
Yeah, there's nothing I really like here. Yeah. The more I look at it, Rashee Rice, yes, but it's like, do you want to pay that price for him? That's all.
Even Rashee Rice, I mean, I don't think the Chargers could beat anyone if Herbert's not healthy. Like, they're a bad football team with a bad coach. Jim Harbaugh's a bad coach. I don't care what anyone says. Fucking disaster. So, I don't know. I think they could beat him with just fucking whipping through it. Kelsey's probably my favorite play in this game, honestly.
Right, but is Mahomes fun?
You're not playing Mahomes in a game.
No. But my point is no matter what, Mahomes is still going to have some fun. You got
$5,500 quarterback.
Mahomes, like, of course, like, he wins games. He puts up decent numbers. He doesn't put up like those DFS numbers that you need, you know.
Mahomes, but his guys, he's still going to do some fun things and get his guys.
That's great. He can do some fun things all he wants. To go play with my nephew. I was fucking $7,100. You better do fucking a lot more than some fun things.
I agree, but
I got Justin Fields, who's going to fucking $2,000 less, who's going to do some fun things too.
I'm not saying he's going for 303. What I'm saying is he'll get his guys the ball still, is what I'm saying. Not him.
I'm sure he will. That's how they win games.
We are aware that Patrick Mahomes can get his guys the ball, Trevor. Great analysis, Goat.
No, I'm just saying he's not going to sit.
Let's say less. Like, yeah, you're doubled down on it 3 times. We're not going anywhere with that comment. Patrick Mahomes is good at football. Yes.
That's my point, I guess.
What you're saying. Yes, we are aware. So, Goat, start us off with Cleveland and Las Vegas.
I mean,
let me tell you who's in and out first because you're drunk. Devontae Adams is out. Chubb is out. I don't know if you even know that.
Michael Mayer out also.
Mayer's out also?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did not know that.
Yeah, Bowers is actually going to play after that concussion scare. So, what do you like here, Trevor?
So I think this game is really simple. I did pick up Deshaun Watson because I had Tua, but I'm not playing him. So we're going to go. I really like Ford quite a bit this week. I think Cooper continues getting better each week. I think he gets in the box again and his yards go up a little bit. He's just going to get better each week as Watson decides not to be the bag of shit he is.
Revenge game also.
Yeah, and I like Bowers. I mean, are we really going to go with Myers here with Adams out? I don't hate it.
I think you just said Myers out.
No, Michael Mayer.
Jacoby Myers.
Jacoby Myers is in.
Jacoby Myers. Yeah, I apologize. Jacoby Myers is in. I like him, man. He was targeting him last week over Adams, and maybe that's because Adams was banged up. So I really like Myers as well. I think this is a better game than people may think. Even though Watson is a bag of shit, he is a bit getting better.
Hey,
And
let's not. This is where you go too far. When you're drunk, just end it. It just drags.
I was gonna go to,
and you end up saying something retarded. So I'm trying to save you.
I'm hearing you. In Houston, we saw him get better and better and better and better, and
he's not going to get better. He sucks.
Okay, fair enough. Asians, go.
Jerry.
Yeah, Brock Bowers with those injuries. I definitely like Brock Bowers. Jacoby Myers, maybe. I would definitely go to Bowers over him. I'm off of Zamir White. I'm not feeling Gardner Minshew here. On the Brown side, I mean, like I mentioned, Amari Cooper, kind of a revenge game for him. We saw Deshaun Watson and him finally connect last week. His price hasn't moved much. It's a pretty good matchup here. Deontay Johnson had a big game against him last week. Zay Flowers had a big game against him the week before. Yeah, so for me in this game, it's simple. It's Amari Cooper and it's Brock Bowers.
All right, Mikey.
Just Bowers for me. I mean, just to echo it, I mean, the Raiders have a horrific offensive line, and Cleveland's going to be all up in their backfield, which is going to force some quick passes, and Bowers is the guy for that. So Bowers at 5,600 is really my only play here.
Yeah, it's kind of ugly here, Zab.
Goat, how many sacks do you think that the Cleveland Browns offense gave up last week?
I'm going to say 4.
8.
That's not very good.
There's no Max Crosby this week, too. Right?
There's no Mac, but
Max Crosby's out this week, too, for the Raiders, right?
Yeah, there's no Mac, but they still have Kendrick Wilkes, who's a game wrecker. And they're without Batonio also. So I think the defenses are both in place for sack. You're going to see Garrett on one side getting sacks. I think we're going to have to look on both defenses to have good games. But I'm not touching the running game. I like Trey Tucker as a cheap option. He had a real good game last week. I think he had 7 catches.
Yeah, we went off. We had like 100 yards last week, didn't he?
Yeah.
7 for 96.
Yeah, for $3,600.
Yeah.
So
that was crazy.
This place went up $300 on a 96.
Yeah, I think he's a solid cheap option to go to.
Especially, no Devontae Adams. That's probably the guy.
Yeah, so that's where I'm going. That's my cheap play this week. So
why I watch this show.
Jerry, you like that?
I don't mind it. I like it.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. All right, and that's the slate. Not the greatest. You got some really bad games on this slate. That's some really usually the
games everybody's going to target, and then everything else is kind of sprinkled in.
So from a high level, Jerry, what's the approach here in GPPs? What do you think the chalk's going to be? What do you think the game theory is?
Well, everything's going to go to the Arizona-Washington game. You're going to see a lot of Texans. So you're going to see a lot of lineups built around those games. How you build your lineups with pieces of those games is going to determine how you win tournaments.
All right. So everyone give me 1 or 2 guys you're definitely going to have in your lineups this week. Jerry, we'll start with you. Who's a couple of your core guys?
I really like Jamar Chase. Love Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Zab, who are you looking at?
Nico Collins, Pickens, and Tucker.
Okay. I like the Tucker one now. Mike, who are you looking at?
Saquon, Breece Hall, and I really like Nico Collins myself too. And I like Rashee Rice. I mean, he's cleared de facto #1 receiver there. I mean, he just gets a gazillion targets, carryover from the end of last year to this year. So I like him at that price, man. 70, what was he, 7,200?
Yeah.
7,300. Getting like a little Rashee Rice and Nico Collins like in there together at that price, I think is pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. I'm definitely going to have Pickens is going to be the all in everywhere. I think he's the guy this week. And I think Bowers, although that game sucks and everything sucks, I think that's the guy, right? Like he should get peppered. He might see like 13 targets.
Well, Tucker was a great call too. I mean,
Tucker's a nice one. Yeah.
Fucking great call at that price.
Yeah, especially for
good
cheap.
call, Fab. I like that.
So, but I like Bowers. I like Pickens and Kyron Williams. And then obviously that Texans offense. Trevor?
Listen once, pay attention twice. Chase, Robinson, Tucker, love that call. And Coop.
What about Cordell Patterson? You said he was your play of the week.
Well, no, he's my touchdown. He's my touchdown. That's a bet, man. That's a touchdown.
Oh, well, that's he came out last week. You have two touchdown guys. You're going to follow back with just Patterson to score a touchdown?
I was intoxicated last week.
Yeah, you're very sober this week.
Semi-sober.
No.
And you're drinking beer this week. Weird.
And you're drinking wine like a classy bitch. All right, final words, Jerry.
We got to be more drunk next week. I don't like the soberness.
Yeah, we can't be starting in the middle of monstrous college football games. I'm gonna have to get off here and go will this game back to life.
I can tell.
I did last night with the Army game. I'm gonna will the second half back to life here. We're gonna get it started right when we get off. Zab, final words.
A lot of injuries. Make sure you're paying attention to game times. So
Everything could
a lot of
change.
people out.
Everything could change. Yeah. By the way, guys, if you see on the bottom there, non-subscribers to the betting channel, first 200 people get a month of VIP for only $69. It's normally $120. Just go to my Twitter, click on a link in the bio, sign up. And then current weekly subscribers, go to my hashtag. There's a link in there where you could upgrade to an end of the year offer. You're getting even a better deal. Those of you who are already subscribed on a weekly and monthly, you want to upgrade to a bigger package. Trevor, final words.
Put a lot of thought into this. Listen once, pay attention twice. Let's fucking go.
Boy. Oh my God, Miami's a disaster right now. They let this whole game turn on that interception. They should be up 21-7 at the goal line, and they just turned the whole game on its fucking head. One thing we said, you can't let Virginia Tech get a lead. Mike.
Play good players. I mean, it comes down to it. Not to say Cam Akers isn't a good player, but when it was a trendy pick, low-cost running back, and I've been saying this for years, when we're on the show, just play good players. Like, don't get caught up in the trendy spend down of the week. Just play good players.
So you're basically taking my old line, don't play guys who suck, and just inversing it.
Okay.
I see what you did there. I like that.
Thank you.
All right. For Zab, Trevor, Jerry, Mike, I am Tommy G. We're going to go sweat the shit out of this fucking whatever the hell happened when I walked outside. I literally was walking outside. It was 21-7 about to be. I come back in. It's a fucking disaster. So let me go take care of this game. We'll be back. Good luck. Stay cashing, motherfuckers.
Hit him, Trev.
Let's go! DoorDash!
I wanted Trev to say it.